Everybody sounds like ass.
Yeah, I bet. Whatever. All right, let's go ahead and get started, man. I'm not editing that out either. All right, this is first and Framerates podcast. What's this? Episode number 42. And the gang
You
is back
sure it's
again.
42?
I'm almost certain that it's 42. It better be 42.
Alright, well, okay.
Shit, it's gonna be 42 either way. Shit. Episode 42, and this is I have the whole gang with me. It's Bills, it's DJ, myself, VF Baller. We're here again. Kind of a switch up, something that I did last week. The actual podcast, if you want it on YouTube, is going to be up a little bit later than usual, but you will be able to get this on SoundCloud and iTunes beforehand. It's just easier and quicker to upload it to those avenues before YouTube. It takes a little bit longer for some unknown reason. But like I said, you can catch us on YouTube, like I said, later, but you catch us on SoundCloud, iTunes. Catch us in the link will be in the description. If not, you can catch the links of the SoundCloud and iTunes on my Twitter, which is VF Baller. I'm gonna let Bills go first and let him introduce himself. He can give you all his information, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, man, this is Bills Fourth. Obviously, we're not on all together weekly, but we're trying to get back to that.
If
you
someone
know,
would be flexible, but that's okay.
Here we go. Here we go. I'm not gonna go there right now, but I got you.
but but yeah, man. Obviously, just been working on my music and these gigs and blah 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 blah. Same old stuff. Watching college football and paying attention to these playoff rankings is really getting interesting.
Oh yeah, definitely, it really is, especially with the one-loss teams.
Man, it's getting very, very interesting.
It's funny that we really had nothing to talk about college football like 4 weeks ago. It's like now it's getting real, it's getting cranked up, so that's awesome.
Yeah.
What about you, DJ? I know you've been working, but you've been a little more consistent than usual, and I know you want me to be more flexible. Like I said, it's coming in the works, and let us know what you've been going through.
Well, it's quiet on the college football front because Florida State sucks. So as far as the college football talk, I am all out. And then watching the Redskins get dismantled at home, which I could see coming.
We gonna talk about that.
Yeah,
we gonna talk about a lot of NFL talk,
Yeah,
but we gotta talk about that.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised at that because I didn't see that coming last week. I honestly didn't.
I tried to tell you the Redskins just don't do well at home consistently. So, and then and for you guys, you can follow me on DJ. You can follow me on Twitter, DJ81, and I have a YouTube channel. It's by my whole name, Derek Jordan. I don't post any videos, but if y'all want to check out the archives, it's all in order by year.
Bills, where they can find you at on Twitter, man?
At Bills Fourth. I would give y'all my music page, but there's nothing to see right now, so there's no point in me giving you your Twitter, my Twitter page for music right now. But trust me, in a couple months, y'all definitely want to stay tuned for that. So
yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, the kid's got talent, man. I mean, we had a couple of samples and one song that he got out, and it's pretty good. It's really good, so you guys need to check that out. But we're gonna talk about obviously sports gaming. That's what we do here. We try to give you the best, uncut and unfiltered, and we just speak our mind about these topics, sports and sports gaming.
And don't give a damn about your feelings either.
Yeah, we really don't. We really don't. Don't give a damn about none of it. Right. I said that. Anyway, we're going to talk about sports and sports gaming. It wasn't meant to be. It wasn't meant to be.
Was gonna say something.
I was waiting for him to say something. That's why I kept pausing, but he waited till the last second.
Mm-hmm.
Threw the alley up, and DJ just stared at it go right over his head.
I know, right? I was waiting. But
no, because here's the thing. The thing about like timing and entertainment is that you always get them when they least suspect it. So if you always do it when people are looking, then it's not going to be as entertaining. So you always got to catch people off guard.
Noted. That's noted.
Mm-hmm.
So not much been going on in the gaming world, but everything's just basically been about Red Dead Redemption 2. Got two topics about that, and like I said, we're going to talk about some sports topics, well, NFL NCAA basketball just started. Nothing to really go on there because it just started.
Oh, I got some shit to talk about, but go ahead.
Oh no, I know what you want to talk about. I mean, because
I actually have a clip. I was actually going to share this before I started switching out my gigahertz in the internet. But McClung with his first college dunk.
That kid's a monster.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And by the way, Bills, that gave you a clue. My favorite college basketball team is Georgetown.
I wasn't talking about college basketball. I knew you were an FSU fan, but I forgot whether it was football or basketball.
That's why when you were swinging and missing yesterday, I just had to. I just left it for you to research, and you never did. So there you go, Georgetown.
I forgot it was Georgetown, but yeah, I remember now.
Right. So yeah, we're gonna talk a little bit about college basketball, NFL. We had another big signing in the NFL. Like I said, we're gonna talk about Red Dead Redemption 2. What do y'all want to talk about first? Y'all want to go the gaming route, or y'all want to go the sports route?
Yeah, get the gaming out of the way.
All right, we're gonna talk about gaming, and basically, there's nothing else to really talk about outside of Red Dead Redemption 2. Red Dead Redemption 2 sales in 8 days topped 17 million units.
Mm-hmm.
Which is already more than Red Dead Redemption 1 in the total 8 years that it's been out.
Insane.
Yeah, that is insane. I mean, we talked about this prior to starting the podcast. I think it was before you came in, Bills. We thought it was some kind of record, but no. I'm pretty sure GTA 5 broke that record because it doesn't say how many they sold in 8 days, but GTA 5 sold 11.2 in 24 hours. So I'm pretty sure it passed the 17 million mark after a week. So, nonetheless, I mean, Rockstar is just killing it. I mean, there's no way around it. And
but still, do not have a football team.
Don't say that. Don't say that. No, we're gonna get to that.
Yeah, we're getting there.
We're gonna get to that. Because I want to ask Bills first, because I know me and you talked about this prior to recording. So I'm gonna ask Bills, what do you think? I mean, we obviously know what we think about the gameplay of Red Dead Redemption and how great the game is. What do you think about these sales and how far you think they can take it?
I think it can only get better because there are a lot of people that I know personally who are on the fence, and after I showed them some gameplay...
On the fence of what?
Of buying it. Because they didn't know whether it was going to be a game that was really their cup of tea.
Yeah, they must have didn't play or know anything about the first one.
Well, they play a lot of sports games. So,
okay.
Once you
those types.
Yep, those types.
Shout out to the sim community.
Shout out to the single game for
shut up,
console type of player.
Shut up, man. Shut up. Off the rails. What you saying, Bills?
I just want to check in with the sim community and see if they've branched out beyond Madden and NBA 2K, which both have been nerfed to hell at this point.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, nerfed.
So what about these guys who are on the fence though? What
they saw some gameplay of it. They thought it looked cool. They didn't know how much time they were going to spend playing it, but they were willing to try it because they heard about how good it was and the great reviews that it got. So that's obviously encouraging. I think whoever is on the fence about it probably will end up buying it, and it'll only.
Hey man, Black Friday is about to come up, and then Christmas time behind that. That game is going to continue to sell like gangbusters.
Yeah, it's going to kill. It's going to kill.
But look, all you have to do is tell them that RPM is in Red Dead Redemption 2. They'll get it. God. That's all you have to say.
I saw you tweet that earlier.
That's all you have to say. RPM is now in Red Dead Redemption 2. Well, it's always been in Red Dead Redemption, but it's more prevalent.
Far better than Madden's RPM because, some people get their panties in a bunch about having to, watch how they were turning and what holes they were running through, but we're not going to talk about that.
Shout out to the Euphoria engine and Backbreaker, man.
Right. I know, right?
Shout out random things. What are we gonna shout out next? Like, shout out Bounce Tech. Like, what are we gonna shout out?
Bounce Tech? Whoa, wait a minute.
That was for live.
Wait a minute. I haven't heard that in a long. Whatever happened to Bounce Tech?
Bounce Tech was live 14, I believe.
Is it still in the game?
No.
What happened to the Infinity engine?
Needless to say, no, it's not.
What happened to the Ignite engine? Yo,
Wait a minute, I heard it was in the mobile version.
Oh, Jesus.
It's in the mobile version.
DJ, what you think about these 17 million sales, man?
Man, all I know is keep going. Keep going. Get this game. And it's probably not going to... I don't think it's going to do as much as Grand Theft Auto 5 has done. And
FYI, let everybody know how much that game has sold.
Okay, just recently it just broke the 100 million units mark.
That's crazy.
That is, and look, you're hearing this from a person that has bought Grand Theft Auto 5 on the 360 last generation on PC and PS4. So I 3 times it as far as
I'm a part of the problem too. I bought on 3 different platforms as well.
And for a game that sold 100 million units, don't you think there will be a lot more mass murders if video games were causing the kids to be violent? Just gonna put that out there. For all the idiots who continue to bash video games and think that they're the devil and whatever stupid shit they say.
Yeah, let's not shout out Dylan Roof.
Why
yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah, exactly.
So ain't got come into this.
Well, you know, people.
I hope his last meal is like a snail and some dirt inside his cell or some shit.
I hope he's eating his last meal as he gets put to death.
Why you can't just have a bleach sandwich with a side of ammonia?
Bleach sandwich.
Why does take public stonings away? I'll probably attend that one for doing.
You know what? I just off kilter a little bit. I actually watched a YouTube video that said the 10 most gruesome torture punishment type sentences, and he would be fit for the Iron Maiden.
God, boy, we're way off the rails, but you're right, though. I agree. I agree, though. I agree. Anyway,
he's like, why'd you do it, Dylan? I'm gonna close this door.
Hey, man.
How far you think this? These sales are gonna go for RDR2?
Let's see. Because the number we threw out there that's units, or that's like that was dollars. I just want to make sure.
No, those are 17 million units, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's gonna depend on what they do with the game thereafter. Because remember, Grand Theft Auto had an online portion that is still living and breathing to this day.
Yeah.
So they're kind of like Grand Theft Auto has this head like well ahead of the game start of Red Dead Redemption 2. But it's going to depend on the multiplayer, if there's any type of multiplayer. I know they have activities that you can do throughout the game, but
no, they're supposed to have like a battle royale in the game. And
yes,
everything.
that was the part. If what they do is I don't know if they were planning on implementing a battle royale, but if they do, how it performs will dictate how well units wise this game will be.
I agree, but I agree with you 100%, and I don't see this game getting a price drop if it continues to go this way. Because like even with Black Friday, I don't think that GTA 5 got a price drop till like 3 or 4 years after it was out, like 2017. That's when it first started. The game was like $59.99. It was still.
Yeah, I remember the game being $59.95 when I first got a PS4.
Yeah.
PS4
but we all know which game is going to get a price drop again come Black Friday.
Anyway, we're not going to talk about.
Sky to this day has not had a price drop.
No, you talking about another game that starts with an N, and it's not No Man's Sky.
Right.
Yeah, we know. You already said that game is supposed to be free.
Shout out to Connor Dugan.
God, you know what, man? Like seriously though, like no joke though.
Podcast tonight.
No, like serious though. That community is so fucked
It's
up.
a shambles. Let's just get to that for a second.
Yeah. Before we start talking about this NFL stuff, this NFL gaming stuff that's out there, and we're not going to talk about this other one about this banned channel thing because he got his channel back, so I don't want to talk about that no more. Mm-hmm. But what I'm about to say, go ahead and talk about NBA Live because we're going to talk about this this NFL stuff in a second.
So, the NBA Live community is a cesspool, which it has been.
It is so bad, bro. I'm like,
now it's like it's bad.
Hold up, there's an NBA Live community. I didn't think one.
There's actually somebody with the
no, DJ. I know you're trying to be funny because they're small in numbers, but the things
don't minimize my humor and trying to minimize my humor. I mean, I've been living comfortably, been focusing on my job, and now we gotta talk about this live community that doesn't really exist. Talk about mythical creatures.
Man, you probably find more people in the game than in the live community around the world. But
man,
that's
they
just
go
me.
back and forth with each other so bad, though.
It reminds you of what we all used to do in the sim community.
You know what, though? But see, the thing is, the people who are getting the most flack are the people who are criticizing the game, and rightfully so. Because a person can't... okay, this is my biggest issue with live. Mm-hmm. This is why I don't play live anymore. I can deal with a lot of the shortcomings of the game if the CPU ball handler could get up the court without picking the damn ball up.
Mm.
Yeah, you roll up. You roll up on them. They'll pick the ball up.
How many times do you watch an NBA game and see even dudes with the worst handle at point guard, small forward, whatever, pick the ball up at any given moment just because somebody came up and pressed them on defense? It's ridiculous.
Man, you're talking about gameplay, and I get it. NBA Live 19 is just not there. I mean, it was great at first, and then it just went in shambles. I'm talking about the way these dudes are going at each other on Twitter, and I'm not saying
sides in the game, and they get you flack for it.
Yeah, it is so bad. It is terrible.
I thought you were gonna be a mindless sheep with the rest of us. No, I'm not. I'm gonna criticize the game because I want the game to get better, which is what every community for every game is supposed to be about. Is what they claim.
It's crazy.
But
DJ, I know you don't have much to say about it because I already know how you feel about live. So I mean, I don't need.
They should have paid us to play live. We bought Live 14.
Yeah, we like me and Bill's like the only ones that was riding hard for 14. It's like serious, like me, you, and Izzy.
I just look at it like this. I had Live 18 for free last year, and it was just simple. And for the fact that the game still has no in-game injuries.
Yes.
That's why I had to post a video for 2K just to remind everybody. The real basketball game, people get hurt.
Yeah, speaking of
mind you, the 2K game I was playing right before we started this podcast, Kawhi hurt his shoulder and it was affecting his shooting, but not his running at all. So go figure.
Zach LaVine has a bruised elbow from somebody trying to swipe the ball from him when he tried to steal the ball from him.
Yeah.
And I managed to get Derrick Rose back to the Bulls, which was cool. But now Zach LaVine is out, so it's like you gain something, you lose it. But still, it's like that type of stuff makes you change your game plan. You're not just playing the game to play it. You actually have to game plan and manage and move this here and there. The one reason why my league is just phenomenal piece of it's just a phenomenal mode.
And I finally jumped on board with the turning Ace off. I finally turned it off for
Thank God.
I never fought anybody on it, but I continued to play on it because mostly my experience when I would play against teams that had Kawhi on it, it was interesting to see who they would put him on. But it seems like the computer still varies that every now and then.
They do. With Kawhi, they do switch. Because I've had that happen where, like, if John Wall was hot, Kawhi would be on him. Right. And then all of a sudden, if Beal was hot, Kawhi would be on Beal. Yeah, they do switch.
I had players that got hot. I mean, they'll get double teamed in the first quarter. So Ace is still effective, but it doesn't affect your team now when it's off, which is a good thing.
That's the point. Because it's like if you want to, if you want to sit there and micromanage your strategy, that's what you do. You turn off Ace. I'm like, even Czar said it. It was like, look, Ace. If you have Ace on, it'll do everything for your team. The CPU is already taken care of. Well, if you turn it off, you have to micromanage and go through each of the settings and set it up the way you like them to do. And then that's also another aspect of team management throughout the season. then you'll find out who your best defenders, how well they either communicate, play well together on defense, and if you see some weaknesses, then you can look towards free agents, you can look towards a draft, look towards a trade, and see how you can improve your team instead of Ace kind of fooling you into thinking that, oh, they know what they're doing. No, they don't. Now it's based on their individual ratings and traits to work within the scheme of things that you set up.
Right, and see, this is another thing that, you know, I've been noticing that too, because with my situation, I'm with the Bulls. It's like my best defender is basically, what's the kid name? Number 22, Cameron Payne. Yeah, he's the best defender on my team, and I thought it'd be Chris Dunn, but I can't use Chris Dunn because he's injured right now. But Cameron Payne is my best defender, and like if anybody, I mean, I still have a young team. But anybody who's hot, he would jump on them, and then I know who I need to pick up in the free agent, or who I'm definitely going to draft as far as when the draft comes, because I need some defenders. Because I love Levine, and I like Parker. Them guys can't defend for shit. They're terrible.
No.
They really, I mean, offense is great. I ain't got no problem with the offense. But defending, no. Especially Levine. He's terrible. So
Parker got hurt in the game I played against the Bulls, but I didn't play it in my league. I just did it right now. Parker got hurt, and Bill went off for like 45.
Not surprised. I mean, that's the struggle.
And I still lost.
Oh God!
I was waiting for the punchline.
Cannot play defense.
Oh, we're gonna get into the real NBA in a second. But
yeah, we're gonna get into that too.
Overall, 2K19 is it's still a good game. I mean, they haven't patched that many gameplay things, thank God.
That game is a masterpiece. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I love the game. That game is phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, if you ask certain people, they feel like they're patching the game in the background day to day. You know, that's why they have video every day going back and forth about the films about the game, Apex. But you know, no, they haven't patched this game to hell like that. I think the people who have more of an issue are the online guys, because still are debating about shot contests, which I don't get how this is so hard to figure out. It's mind-boggling to me. But yeah,
let's talk about another 2K game before because this would be an excellent segue between that and the NFL, and also go back to the NFL.
Go.
Yes, I'm gonna do it. I'm going to do it, goddammit. I put it out on Twitter, and I'm going to give you my reasons why. We just got finished talking about possibly the best basketball game come out. Now, this company, I ain't going to say this company because the company is like kind of dismantled. It's a little different now. But back in 2004, they made another game. It was a football game, NFL 2K5. I went back to start playing that game. And just like how y'all saying you have to micromanage your team with the ace and everything, micromanaging your team with weekly preparation in NFL 2K5 is probably one of the best things that's never been implemented again. Now, you look at Madden 19, you're looking at the preparation they have on it. It's nothing like that. And I'll get into that shortly.
No contest.
NFL 2K5, that game still holds up very well today. It's a phenomenal football game. I had a friend of the family come over, and I put it out on Twitter where he was playing the game as a little kid, and he was loving the game. And that I put out like 3 or 4 clips of him playing. He's done a great job. It's not like he was just playing to play. He knows what he was doing. But it made me want to go back and start playing it, and I cannot put the game down. I've been playing it, for the past week or so, and I don't know how come Madden has not come up to surpass this game yet. Now, don't get me wrong. There's moments in Madden, like when the game first comes out, the game's like, okay, this is great. Don't touch this game. And then like a month or two later, it feels like you're playing the previous game. 2K5 has put it out there to where just like every play means something. You can run damn near every play in the playbook and no wonkiness goes on. Now, the game has lack of animations, but everything is logical compared to the other games. I'm going to go back to weekly preparation. I had to get some more film study for Brian Finneran. He's a receiver that played for the Falcons. Because he was playing against the Dolphins, and back then they had Patrick Surtain and Sam Madison and Sammy Knight. I mean, phenomenal DBs that nobody talk about no more. Mm-hmm. And I had to get more film study for him so he could be a better route runner. Did you know this guy? I put in the max amount of time that I could throughout that week. Did you know that his route running, and he's not known for it, but it's improved significantly for that game. When you do weights for the players, they block better. If you do too many weights, they can get these players could get injured if you give them too much to do throughout the week. And by the time Saturday comes, they could be injured and not be able to play in that game. I mean, they thought of so much. They thought of so much shit in that game that I cannot put the game down now. I literally cannot. And I've done two. I'm gonna be honest. I did 2 30-year dynasties on this game back in the day. I played it a lot, but I never used weekly preparation until now.
I did not. I always used it.
What the thing is about
I did not. I thought it was window dressing. I did not know, but it actually works. And I was on Operation Sports, and I went on YouTube, and I looked at all of that. Yeah, you can pull my card. I'll take that. But I went on there and I looked at how people did weekly preparation, and it makes a big difference from week to week playing that game. But I can't put it down. Now, Bills, what you about to say?
So the thing about NFL 2K5 and the thing about MLB The Show and the thing about NBA 2K and the thing about NHL, all these games.
Another great game. NHL, another great game.
Yeah, what they have in common is the fact that they are unapologetically sim, and Madden refuses to be unapologetically sim. Why? Because they probably have the worst crop of competitive gamers in the competitive gaming industry.
No lie about that.
And that's what it comes down to. I mean, yes, these dudes that play in these 2K tournaments and the 2K league, yeah, they're clowns. But the thing is, 2K does not submit to them the way Madden and the devs submit to these dudes. I mean, it's like they don't want any form of football in the game. And MLB The Show, they make no bones about it.
No, you need to learn that. You need to learn how to play baseball. They can get ran over.
You don't like the game? Turn the difficulty down. Period.
Or turn the game off.
Play something else.
Or don't play any more games if you're that bad at multiple games.
Yeah,
Mark.
Oh damn.
Oh, Mark. What you say?
But yes, oh man, Madden was good for a month, and yeah.
I'm dead serious on that. I'm not saying this to be funny. I mean, the game is 14 years old, and I literally cannot stop playing this game. I've played it for 5 days straight. I cannot put it down.
That engine in 2K for how everything worked, from the ball changeability to the tackling, was revolutionary because it still hasn't been topped.
It's clear, Bills. The game is clearly dated. You can look at it. I mean, the game looks phenomenal still to this day if you play it on a 360 or if you got a original Xbox with the high powered component cables. It still looks good, but you can look at the animation and tell it's an old game. But everything works really well.
Yeah, and ball tangibility is. I mean, I can't think of a time where the ball went through somebody's hand or head or anything like that on that game.
Yeah, no, seriously, I agree. It's like everything. Look, the game has flaws. I mean, DJ can tell you, trade logic wasn't the best. The draft classes aren't the best.
Yeah,
the tight end
getting traded every single week to a different team.
Right, the tight ends don't. The tight ends are the only players on the field that don't head track. You could throw the ball to the tight end. He does not look back for the ball. You got linebackers. You got the linemen. You have
to put the coverage up to 100 for them to not play like they have rocks for brains.
Right. Yeah. The difficulty is not 100% legit. Because if you put it you put it up too low, you can run over any team, no matter how well they are. But if you put the difficulty up, they play like they're supposed to. The game has its issues. But if you get everything right, and I'm not talking about like crazy sliders or anything, it's just basic stuff that turn the difficulty up, be mindful that this is not a 2018, 2019 game. You can play like real football. Every play I did, it meant something. There's some teams you can't run the ball on. And when you can't run the ball on, you're going to have 17 carries for like 31 yards. There's like not one play that you could say, okay, I'll run this and I'll be cool. Yeah, if you have the difficulty down, but if you legitimately have it up, you're gonna have a problem. Listen, I can't say it enough, and I'm not trying to be funny or nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see myself playing another football game unless Madden 20 does something right. And I don't mean like, oh, the game has to come out nice. I'm talking about 3 or 4 months down the road, patches and all, the game is still on the level of like NBA 2K19 or if not better. I can't. Everything that you do in franchise mode in NFL 2K5 is just so immersive, and I'm not even talking about on the field stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I can't put it down anymore. And it's like it's just another level of the game that, like I said, when I played back then, I didn't use weekly preparation. Now each team, I say, okay, work with Michael Vick this time, work with Warwick Dunn this time, work with Michael Jenkins, or work with D'Angelo Hall. It's like they tell you different things to do, and then when you do it, you will see how the morale and the focus goes up or if it goes down. And it was a phenomenal football game. I can't. I don't understand why Madden just didn't steal everything they did. I'm gonna be quite honest.
You
just
know
why
what?
They didn't do it.
Oh, I'm sorry. The one thing that you definitely notice is that you could do things for each day throughout the week. I know you had mentioned, by Saturday, someone could probably get hurt.
Right.
I've said this years ago that Madden, first of all, NCAA had this where they switched it to a calendar. No, Madden also had this too, where they switched to a calendar-based schedule. So where it wasn't like week to week, it was like, okay, within that week you had your 7 day, or you had your 5 day work week, Monday through Friday, to prepare, film, study, whatever. I know college had it where you can send your players to study hall, take care of any suspensions and stuff like that. But for Madden, 1 year had it based on the straight up calendar system, day to day interactions where like interviews would pop up. The way they did it, they didn't do it like NFL 2K5. They did it where interviews would pop up, something random would pop up throughout the week before you got to your game.
Right.
And I've always advocated for the fact that Madden needed to switch their franchise mode to that base system so it could set up doing daily preparations, Monday, Tuesday, film study, recovery,
like Monday,
stuff like that.
Yeah, because like every Monday they'll tell you every Monday you have a team meeting, and based on how well your team did the prior meeting, like say, or not the prior, but the prior again, like on Sunday that you lost a game, and you were upset that certain players didn't do what they're supposed to do. You can have a meeting where you're like upset, and you can storm out the meeting. And some players would be like wanting to get, I ain't gonna say wanting to get traded, their morale will go down, or you have some players who be fired up because they want to do better. I mean, it's just so much, it's just so, like you can storm out of the meeting, you can have a prayer at the end of the meeting, you can encourage, you can motivate, you can, you can point fingers at people.
And that's the issue with Madden. They don't even give options for these things.
No, they just
like
tell
you can easily skip them if you don't want to indulge in them, but it doesn't mean that people like us shouldn't get the option of being able to grind through a season and know what it feels like to go through, because anybody who's played football knows that you don't just show up on Saturday or Sunday and play.
Yeah, it's like with Madden, it's like, okay, run the cover 2, and if you get a silver, you'll have a boost.
Right.
It's like it doesn't work like it doesn't work like that.
Everything is streamlined for people to play as many games as possible. That's not how football works. It's not. It's a week of preparation for 60 minutes of football.
Like I said, man, on Wednesdays you can give these guys the day off, and then when you come back on Thursday, you can have some guys who are just not up to par, so you have to work them out even further. Like you have the weightlifting, work on their pass blocking. If you work them too hard, they can be tired or even injured on Saturday, so they can't go the next game. I mean, listen,
and you also had, at the time they had probable, but there's no more probables anymore.
Nope.
They had questionable, doubtful.
Yeah, they had
those statuses.
They had questionable, doubtful, probable, and out.
Yep.
It was those 4. It was like you had them like with Madden. It's like
the fact Madden still doesn't have that game time decisions and things like that.
Right, like I say, even Madden, like
they kind of have it. It's when the injury pops up and you can put them back in the game. That's their status filter. High, it's low, medium, and high.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
within the game. But I'm saying, like
But
prior to
okay,
the game.
I got you as far as the
Yeah,
week,
yeah.
but they have it
Yeah.
just within that game.
Yeah,
Like,
because I had
they just need to expand that and just rename it to it, because that's what it is.
You know, it would be great if they had on the loading screen, if they showed you who was on the injury report, and then they had the game time decisions where literally leading up to the kickoff or what they don't even have kickoff presentation.
Bills.
Yeah,
Well,
They got that.
2K5
They
had
got
random
that.
injuries before games.
They got that in NFL 2K5 on
No,
Monday
I
with
know.
weekly preparation. It tells
I
you
know.
who's hurt.
but I'm saying in Madden, it's like all this shit should be in there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, look, the gameplay was always there for me, and you know when the little dude came over here and was playing the game, it had me interested. Just to, all right, I'm just gonna for shits and giggles, I'm gonna play. But I was like, let me start another franchise, and then that's when I saw the weekly preparation, and I used it, and I saw the difference of the players, and like one time I had Keith Brooking, he was doubtful, but all of a sudden when the game started, he was in the game. I was like, hold on, I didn't put him in the game, but when I saw it, it was doubtful, but he was still in the game, and I was like, he gonna probably risk getting injured again. And sure enough, he got hurt again. I mean, this is 2004. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to keep talking about it.
I'm sorry, but their excuse with less disk space.
This game is a 3 gig game.
Go figure.
No, there's no excuse for none of it. 2K5 is a 3 disc game. You're talking about a game. You're talking about a game that's on a 50 gig disc right now.
Well, Longshot isn't pulling any resources from other places. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, we're gonna talk about something else. I'm not even gonna talk. You see, you don't fucked up. You don't fucked up.
Since we were kind of talking about the NFL, I actually posted 2 things NFL related as far as Le'Veon Bell. Have you guys read that?
The upside down,
it's backwards on mine for some reason, but read it out so everybody knows.
It's on purpose.
That's how we tweeted it out.
Oh, okay. Okay, I thought it was a glitch on the thing. Well, let everybody know what we're reading since we're here.
Well, first of all, I can read upside down, so let me just pull it back up.
That's actually kind of brilliant how you did that, though.
So he said, "I'm not apologizing for what I believe is right for myself, family, and the rest of my peers, period."
Mm-hmm.
Also, if you're really finding the time and I'm doing it slowly because I am converting it in my head as I'm reading it. I'm not trying to stand on my head doing this.
That's fine.
Okay, so finding the time to figure out what I'm saying, you've proved my point. And then there's another one. Let me go back. Okay, Windows.
I think it says isn't about everybody. Wait, what?
Isn't about
just
everybody
about
has
everybody.
Just about everybody has an opinion.
And worried about what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
Don't. Hold up.
It said, "Don't judge me off my decision."
Oh, okay. Okay, he couldn't get a J upside down, but he got some character there. So don't judge me off my decisions because maybe this isn't what you'd do. But most people don't take the time to just simply read between the lines. Yep. And that's clearly on them.
Yep.
So what you think all that means?
So what it basically means...
You twisted your neck to try to read this thing. You're the one they're talking about.
Yeah. He's basically saying if you're so worried about what I'm doing that you watch my feed all day to figure out whether I'm going to show up to camp, whether I'm not, you're part of the issue.
Oh, okay.
And I agree, because for everybody who thinks, oh, the Steelers are okay, they have James Carter, the Steelers are okay. Why do you care if Le'Veon Bell comes back?
First round exit, bro.
Easily.
We said this before. First round exit. And
everybody's like, oh, well, you know, that's $15 million that he's turning down. Hey, just because he's back in Pittsburgh don't mean he's gonna show up.
That's true. That's pretty interesting. But I'm still mad at this long shot shit you brought up. That right there tells you everything that you need to know about the direction of EA Sports in general. But
Just call it long and replace the O with an I in shot. So that's basically what it was. I did not touch it this year. It was just
I didn't even touch it last year.
You miss one.
yeah.
I didn't touch it at all.
Last year it had a good story, but this year no.
Yo, they tried to. I don't know if it was you, Bills, or was it Uno. Shout out to Uno, man. We need him on this podcast one day.
Yeah.
But he tried to get me to play long shot because they had like this college mode or something like that. And I'm a big proponent for college games. I was like, nah, I'm not doing. Unless you can.
Yeah, high school too. This year there's a lot more high school in it, and it just.
You'd be better off waiting for the mod on PC. They're almost done.
Put it this way, VF. Regardless of whether you passed or failed any of those drills, they would just have you redo them. None of the decisions you made would make any difference in your career. It was a streamlined, linear experience that didn't need to be.
So basically, if I decide to be a reprobate and just fuck up everything, I still have to do it over.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I want to be a drop. I want to be a long shot dropout. But I guess that ain't gonna happen.
For example, his teammate from high school, he sucks. He's awful. He can't sing either. He just sucks at.
Wait a minute. They're singing in it too.
Yeah, he's like a country.
Man, all right. I done heard enough, man. I'm good.
Exactly.
I don't care.
I don't know, so I'm gonna give you an example. So
singing in Madden. Who would have thought?
The thing that, well, it's not like a drill or anything where you have to do that. But no, so basically he got undrafted, so he went and became a country singer or whatever. But basically he went back and told a lie about how the national championship went. You have to score every touchdown with him, basically. It's so stupid. Like, it's ridiculous. That mode has no place in the game, and yeah.
Anyway, let's talk about another NFL situation. Fortnite got these characters in their game now. So there's another game out there with NFL players, and you got one guy out here making a video, some conspiracy theory about Fortnite making a football game. I don't want to touch it. What about you guys?
That's not
2K, please come back. Please come back, 2K, please.
Hey, Bills, you can actually spoof your song for this.
I know, right? I know. Okay, come back to me. Produced by Gettin and put him in the game. Oh. It's like Jesus Christ. Seriously, I ain't
got nothing to say. I'm just trying to figure out why they got license for players and another company's not trying to do anything with it.
Yeah.
That's all I gotta say. I don't care about football players in Fortnite. If it is, it's gonna be an NFL street.
But folks, seriously though, like for everybody who's been asking and clamoring for 2K to come back, you have to laugh at yourself at this point. Like seriously.
Yeah, I mean that it's over with. Fuck that.
They're spitting in your face like Randy Orton did to Mick Foley in that parking lot. They're just spitting in your face right now.
And we already talked about how many units that 2K, that Take-Two Interactive is making a percentage off of.
Yes.
So it's not like they don't have the cash.
They have money to waste on a game that they don't know people are gonna buy. So
Let me tell you something right now. If 2K made a game right now, even if it was unlicensed, it would sell significantly enough to suffice making the game.
If they had,
I'm not saying that to do gangbusters and millions, but they'll make their money back and then some.
Especially if they have the uniforms.
Yeah, that's all they need. They don't even need the players. Just get the. Have they learned anything from Madden modding on PC?
Anything at all?
Have they learned anything with Madden being modded with the NCAA? Trust me, just put the game out there. They'll do the rest.
Shout out to Access Football. They're about to get on PS4.
Yeah.
A road and more closer to now Xbox in the near future. Shout out to them. An actual company.
Danny Jugan.
Good job.
Yeah, Danny Jugan. I still got to give a shout out to Dollar. He was like the only guy riding for this game since day one.
Yes.
And then somebody tried to steal his thunder, but took it right back. So good on you, Dollar.
Moody.
Oh man.
You
talk about the subtweets that are gonna come to us.
You said something? Huh?
You started this.
You said something? What you heard? Huh? But no,
Oh.
seriously, shout out to Dollar, man. He's like, seriously, he's been the only one really riding for Axis, even when we decided not to at one point. But definitely congratulations to them. Enough of all of that. Let's talk about some real sports. I mean, I think we
Talk about them Wizards. And the only reason I'm gonna say that is because I watched the OKC game and God, man, Dwight Howard had them playing some inspired basketball for a quarter or so, and then
DJ, man, you got something to say about this?
I got nothing. I've been screaming this for years about the Wizards.
yes,
They talk about, like, we have Wizards fans, just like I talk about the Redskins fans last year when they were talking about beautiful stats. We have Wizards fans that are sitting there and they're talking about, well, Otto Porter isn't aggressive enough, but they're talking about the offense. Offense. Meanwhile, they're giving up 100. They gave up what in that game? They gave up 130 something points.
yeah. Wasn't it a 70 point half?
Yeah. They almost had 80. It was like 75.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there like, okay, what does Otto Porter's aggressiveness have to do with giving up 75 points by the first half and 134 for the whole game? The fact that Oklahoma City kept pace.
Right.
Well, they fell off in the second half, just a slight tad, because 75 twice is what, 150?
150. Yeah.
Yeah, it's 150. So they scored 134. Okay, they took it easy in the second half, but still the Wizards' defense was terrible. And I've been saying this year in and year out, and we had a coach fired. We're about to have a GM fired, which the GM does deserve to be fired, but the coach, I don't think Scott Brooks deserves to be fired, because how often?
No.
Okay, you have
He's already been fired once for bullshit.
Right.
So it's just like you sit there and you watch Scotty Brooks, who in his day was a defender. So this
And
is
coached
the
one of
guy.
the best defensive teams when he was coaching OKC.
Yeah.
So when you're talking about a core group that's been together, Wall, Beal, Porter, minus 1 year when Paul Pierce was there, that was the only year they played defense, when Paul Pierce was there. Other than that, a John Wall led team, and this is not a knock on John Wall overall as an individual player, but Wall, Beal, and Porter got to also lead in defense, not just in the offense. I know Wall does it on defense. Beal can do it. Porter, if he's not going to be aggressive on offense, he's a shooter. Everybody was like, oh, he can't create his own shot. No shit. He hasn't been able to create his own shot since he was 7 years old.
Bro, let me tell you something. Otto Porter, and like I said, I know everybody on that team has the potential to do it, as you're saying. But good God, once Dwight Howard left that game, it was like a switch completely flipped. I mean, Otto Porter was making Jeremy Grant look like somebody's all-star or something like that. John Wall couldn't keep Russell Westbrook in check and transition anymore. And, I mean, that was the thing that I was watching, like, all they're doing, OKC's taking the ball either from dropping out of the basket after y'all score or off the backboard, and they're off to the races, and Russell Westbrook is just running through y'all's defense, slicing and dicing. I mean, y'all getting beat with backdoor cuts, and it's effort.
But you know what?
Yeah.
Another thing, the most disciplined I seen the Wizards was, again, that Paul Pierce year. But you saw what offense. Do you remember what offense they were running that year? Because this was like that transitional where, like, the Golden State Warriors were doing, like, between the Miami Heat and the Golden State Warriors.
Well, that was before they were running 4 out, right? Or were they running 4 out at the time?
Yeah, because the Wizards at the time, it was Gortat and Nene, so they had their two bigs. So you only had 3 players on the floor that potentially could shoot from 15 out, but you had both centers that could shoot from 15 and in.
Mm-hmm.
But the type of offense they were running, they were running plays.
Yep.
Randy Whitman had them running sound, disciplined basketball on offense, and they were sound and disciplined on defense.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, because the fans were like, the only reason we lost because we didn't shoot a line of threes. So we tried that experiment and failed the following year. So we missed the playoffs. So we made it back the next year, and we actually started out 2-8, which is our record right now.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody was like, well, this team, they were talking about that offense again. I was like, no, all they got to do is start playing defense and it'll turn right around. What happened? They at least made it to the second round.
Right.
That team has such a lackluster defensive culture that Kelly Oubre, who specialized in defense, it was one of the best perimeter defenders in college the year he played at Kansas. He doesn't even make a concerted effort on defense half the time anymore.
Because he doesn't have that lead dog. I'm like, Wall can play defense.
Yeah.
I remember when he plays inspired defense, it spreads. He's the franchise. He's the leader of that team.
Yep.
But it's just like, even I thought it was John Wall at first, but it was somebody else get blown by like I think it was the rookie that got blown by somebody on Dallas. And even like there was a moment in that Dallas game where you had Morris and Howard underneath the basket.
Mm-hmm.
Balls off the court. Otto Porter's taking off because it's like, oh, I got two big men down there to grab the rebound. Who grabs the rebound? The one dude from Dallas.
And you know what? And this brings up a bigger issue. I got into a debate, which I think was a very stupid debate, because I don't know how anybody can even debate this to begin with. I posted on Facebook, I said, the lack of effort in the NBA compared to college basketball as far as defense is concerned is night and day. And somebody had the nerve to come and try to debate it, and I said, just look at the NBA this year. Like, if you actually watch,
you're right. It's something going on in the NBA and a lack of defense, and like not just effort, but I mostly see it on defense. Like it's damn near non-existent.
It's the back. I mean, and it's on ball more than off ball. That's pissing me off when I watch the games. It's not just torrid shooting. It's not just a bunch of threes being taken. It's the fact that guys in college feel like they haven't made it because they're not getting paid. Obviously, some schools are still paying under the table, whatever. They're not getting paid contractually to play defense. But they're doing it because they're trying to get to the NBA. They have something to prove. Once they get to the NBA, you see guys start slacking off on defense. It's the culture.
That sounds like college football as well.
Yeah. It's the culture. Look at Marcus Peters. He got paid, now what?
Yeah, I mean, you look at, you can even look at small colleges. I mean, these guys are like going all out for their football teams or basketball teams.
Yeah, so you
just don't see it when they go pro. Like, I mean, we know that the NFL has its restrictions on playing defense, but still, like, even before all this was going on, you may have like one good defensive team. But you didn't have like people actually going all out to play defense like it was like in the 90s or whatever, or the early 2000s.
LeBron James has not been a consistently good defender in 6 years. And I don't care what LeBron stand comes at me. I don't care. I have sat and watched pretty much every game this man has played for the last who knows how many years. I'm a huge LeBron James fan. He has not been a good defender in the last 6 years. The effort comes from your star player. Period.
That's true. Because I'm gonna tell you, I used to watch it. LeBron used to lock down Derrick Rose like it was nothing at one point.
Yes. He would come out and set the tone. Now he passes off assignments so he can quarterback the defense from a position that is kind of like a free roaming guy, but he has a lot of things that he needs to work on as far as effort is concerned on defense. And that's a big problem with the Lakers right now is defense. It is not offense. It is defense. And it's not just that JaVale McGee is the only rim protector. It's the fact that they don't have the consistent effort on defense from their star player and the best player in the league still. They're not getting a consistent effort from him on defense that sets that tone. And it's consistent around the league with that. So I mean, we're seeing so many 130-point games and 140 point, and I mean they're blowouts too. It's like one team comes out hot, the other team comes out cold, and it ends up being like 130 to 80. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous. So, I mean, and then Golden State will blow somebody out, and they'll still give up like 110 points. You know?
And that kind of is weird because of the dominance of that team. It's like the effort is just not there on the back end.
Yeah, I mean, it's like they know they're gonna win damn near every night, and defensively they can afford to slack off a bit because they know they're gonna average 120 points this year. But for these other teams who aren't that offensively gifted, for example, like a Philly, they can't afford to do that. Thank God Boston's playing defense these days, because
that is true.
They're still trying to get it figured out. And I think they're the best defensive team in the league, other than Golden State. They're still trying to get it figured out offensively. So it's just been a weird trend this year with the NBA, man. And
it's still early, but most of the time, the NBA is not the type of it's not the type of conglomerate that actually change within the season. You kind of get what you're going to get.
No. And they said they were setting these points of emphasis for the jostling, and even more this year than last year, which I find is ridiculous. And I think that's what's causing players to play less and less defense.
Yeah.
There's a fine line between schoolyard ball, which it turned into in the 80s, and just pansy ball, which it pretty much is now.
I mean, I every time there's a clip there's a clip I put out on Twitter. I just find it hilarious every time I see those guys fighting back in the 80s and the early 90s.
I think the 90s I think was the perfect balance, man.
I agree. It was rough, but you still could get yours.
I mean, if you bring back, or not even bring back, loosen up the rules on hand checking just a little bit, and you still have the ability for guys to play help defense the way they do now, I think it would be a perfect mix of what this league needs. Because, yes, people will still have the freedom of movement. Superstars are still going to get theirs, but that's the thing. Scoring numbers are still down in this era, even with the lack of being able to rough somebody up on a perimeter.
Yeah, because I remember at one time, like 125 to 130 was almost like the norm back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. People who don't do their homework, they swear that hand checking started in the 80s, but you could hand check the hell out of somebody even before that. And in the 70s, every team averaged 115 points per game.
Yeah, you can't drop that knowledge on these young cats today, man. They know it all.
But I mean,
history started when Tim Duncan came in the league.
You let them tell it, man. I mean, I think he's the greatest power forward of all time, but let's not discount Charles Barkley because he has no jewelry.
Right. Let's jump to another topic before we close it out. The NFL.
Yes.
First, we're going to jump off to this Dez Bryant thing going to the Saints. What do you guys think about that?
I'll let DJ go first.
Redskins should have already signed this cat. I don't know what we were thinking.
I agree. I think he should have went so. So what you say, Bills?
Me and DJ talked about that preseason, I believe.
Yeah. I'm actually surprised it took this long for him to get signed, but I'm a Falcons fan, but I have no problem with giving the Saints props. I mean, I know it's a big rivalry, but I have to call it how I see it. It's a fantastic move for the Saints, and I still can't put them as a lock to go to the Super Bowl because their defense is horrendous. Their defense is fucking horrible. I don't care what anybody says.
Rams game.
Yeah,
and that's another one I called.
Not even the Rams game. Yeah, not even the Rams game. You look at when they played the Falcons. They went to overtime. I mean, the game was like 37-40. I mean, look, maybe in this league it'll work. Maybe they can win the Super Bowl like that. But I mean, because the league is the way it is. But that doesn't discount how bad this defense is. I mean, there's very few defenses in the NFL right now actually good, but that defense is bad. I like the move, but they need help on defense. Bad.
What about you, DJ? Other than the Redskins comment.
I think it is.
Where do you think it helps them? Like, do you think he's gonna be like a red zone target? Do you think he's gonna be I don't think he's going to be able to stretch the field. Maybe he got in better shape, or I don't know.
Nah, it gives Drew Brees another. I'm not gonna say sure-handed, but a high-profile target.
Yeah, the sure-handed is out the window.
Yeah, you're right. I'm not even gonna say
I definitely have to
him
see to
more,
believe that.
it gives Drew Brees more high-profile targets.
Because
So
I mean,
it's just-
and not only that, the truth be told, you can put one guy on Dez, and you know, let me tell you on the real, Drew Brees is going to make Dez successful. Dez is not going to be this guy that's going to get open for Drew Brees. Does that make sense?
The one thing, oh, definitely. And the one thing I'll say about Dez is he plays well in big games.
Yep,
Yeah.
and they do play the Cowboys this year.
Oh,
That's going to be interesting.
That's going to be a serious.
That's going
I
to be.
think that's weeks.
But like I said, on the back end, I like the move. I have no problem with the move. But it was a reason why they wanted Patrick Peterson at one point. You know what I'm saying?
I think
they got Eli Apple, and that did nothing.
Yeah,
But
I think,
they need defense bad.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be big come playoff time.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I would take that Rams game with a bit of a grain of salt. If that same game is played in LA, do we all agree that LA would probably win?
Because LA,
yeah, I don't know.
LA is not the best team at home, but
what I'm saying is, do you agree that they wouldn't get out to the slow start that they got out to? Which would make it.
I don't know.
I don't know, but I will give the edge. I will give the edge to the Rams because of the Saints' defense. Mm-hmm. But I'm not going to say because the Rams are going to play better at home. Does that make sense?
I don't think they're going to play better at home, but I think the issue with the Saints on the road seems to be that they can't stop the run on the road.
They can't stop nothing.
They can't stop nothing on the road, but God, they really can't stop the run on the road.
They can't. Look, they can't stop the Buccaneers winning there and torched them.
Yes.
The Falcons torched them. And like, to be honest with you, if it wasn't for Drew Brees getting the ball first, and you know how that goes, if they didn't get the ball first in overtime, you could be talking about a totally different game. Yeah. You see what the Rams did to them. Like, the only time they actually did something was like what they played against the Ravens, and the Ravens, you know, their offense is and they the same thing with the Browns, where they almost lost to the Browns, but the Browns are.
I just think the Saints play so great at home compared to on the road. It's just a bit of a different environment, and I think the Rams are such a good team.
Yeah, it's nothing.
I think it told more about the Rams in that game than the Saints.
I can agree with that. They play great all the time as far as offensively. I'm sorry, I cannot give them any credit for what they do on defense. I think they have a terrible defense.
That's why I say if the game was in LA,
I give it a nod. I give LA the nod. I do.
I think I give LA the advantage. I gave the Saints the advantage in that game. And
look, the Saints about to play the Eagles. I would not be surprised if the Eagles put 35 on them.
I don't know. They can't run the ball at this point.
Well, is true.
Is that game in Philly or in New Orleans?
I think it's in New Orleans.
Philly.
I'm about to look now, but I think it's in New Orleans.
It is in. I have it up right now. Nah, it's. Wait, what the hell?
Yeah, it's. They're not playing.
Not this week, bro.
Not this week, because New Orleans is playing Cincinnati this week.
Yeah, they're not playing this week. I'm just saying when they play them. That's what I was just saying. When they.
Oh yeah, let me.
Oh okay. Yeah, because it's Dallas and Philly this week.
They're playing in New Orleans.
Yeah, I was saying. I think they're playing in New Orleans. But I still give them 30 points. I don't. It's like I don't trust the Saints defense at all. You know, it's just, I think they'll put up 30. I think the Saints easily could put up 40 points on everybody. But I don't see anything outside of that. Speaking of that, me and DJ were talking about this earlier. Another team that don't play good at home, outside of the Rams, the Washington Redskins lost to my Falcons. Which personally, I said the week before on this podcast, I didn't think the Falcons would win that game because their defense is we're just missing players.
And then I chimed in and was like, I don't know, because the Redskins are playing at home, and
I mean, you came out right because I don't know what got into the Falcons. They played phenomenal defense. They played very good defense.
Because the thing with Jay Gruden, I'm gonna start with him. The thing with Jay is that he doesn't adjust anything. He tries to ram a square peg into a circle hole. No matter how small the hole gets, he'll continue to think that he can just ram it up in there. But
y'all ain't talented enough, and it's not a knock against your squad, but y'all don't have the overbearing talent to be able to do that.
And then, defensively, I'm like, we've been shredded by New Orleans. I knew Matt Ryan was going to have that type of game against our defense. So, another game where we got shredded by a good quarterback. What I was shocked at was that we could not stop the run, but that was already set up by the pass. We didn't stack the line like we were usually doing. Offensively, once again, I think they're expecting Alex Smith to constantly want to throw the ball deep. How are you going to throw the ball deep if you don't trust who's on the other end of it? And I think a lot of Redskins fans fail to realize that in order to throw a deep pass, you got to trust who's on the other end to either make a play, knock it out, prevent an interception. And if you looking down the field, number 18, I'm just calling him number 18 because he doesn't deserve to have his name even mentioned. I know he scored a touchdown, but that was in garbage time, so that doesn't count. When he's 50-50, then the quarterback is 30-70. He doesn't have that faith in you. Now, if you would put more effort into your route running, into your catch attempts, you put more effort into your yards after the catch, because I've seen this man catch a pass and do nothing with it afterwards. Like, he literally just hopped in place, spun, and it wasn't like a spin like, oh, I'm trying to get away from somebody. He was like, that's it. Like, he didn't want to put any work into it. I think what's going on is something that I had to look into closely. Number 18, it seemed like he doesn't put any effort into during the week, and it shows on the field. He's half-assed. And
the funny thing is it was the same as the Cowboys game, which we'll get to. Same issue with the Titans. Even though they beat the Cowboys, I kept hearing the commentators say they need to throw the ball down the field. They need to throw the ball down the field. They need to throw the ball down the field. The issue is, I mean, Marcus Mariota and Alex Smith are very similar in their philosophy about forcing the ball down the field. They will never lose you the game. They might get fumbled, fumbled, whatever. But, I think the Redskins' problem at its core is not only what you're talking about, but just the fact that I think Alex Smith knows that about Dotson, and it's handcuffing them, and Jay Gruden refuses to. I saw them check the ball down to AP so many times and expect him to just make something out of nothing, and it's like when you get into these third and long situations, and you wonder why you're in those situations, it's because your play calling is very predictable, and you can't have predictable play calling if you don't have the talent to get open on these predictable route combinations and these predictable play calls. Period.
And Jay is in a situation where he refuses to bow down to the true identity of this team. This is the throwback team that John Gruden is trying to make out in Oakland.
Yeah.
This is the throwback team that needs to start off running the ball, establishing the run, get people to creep up, then you hit them over top. Or you hit them, because lost in the shuffle is Jordan Reed right now.
But when you look at the flip side of that, we did hold them to 17 yards rushing, though.
Well,
In there.
but the thing is, we came out passing the ball.
Exactly.
Who's who?
Exactly.
Wide receiver?
That is true. That is true.
That in VF, I mean, good God, that Falcons offense was looking like a Falcons offense of a couple years ago.
We couldn't even stop the run.
I'm gonna tell you, that's another thing. I have no problem with the Falcons offense right there. I never did. None this year. If you really think about it, the offense have done fine. I mean, Matt Ryan threw his first interception in like 300 attempts, but if you look at that interception, it was the fact that Calvin Ridley ran the wrong route. It wasn't like
he did because Matt Ryan formed a new one. He was just like, he's supposed to break in. Not
right.
out.
It was. So I mean, like the offense is fine, but my main concern is you have these injuries on defense. I mean, you lost both of your safeties and your middle linebacker, and it's like it shows. Well, it's been showing like throughout the entire year. Like this is the first game that these guys actually. Yeah, I'm saying this is like the first time it actually showed that these guys, the backup for Keanu Neal, Demonte Casey is playing light side ball right now, and I'm actually surprised at that because it's like, I didn't see that coming. So it's like I think at the end of the day. They won 3 straight. Start off with 1-4. They're 4-4 right now, and this is another thing that I was saying about the Saints. The Saints look good right now, but if this Falcons defense get healthy, or they step up like they're supposed to, that's going to be a real problem if the Saints have to face them later on this year. Not the divisional game, but in the playoffs, because the Falcons know them very well. And their defense is actually can be intact to stop what they're doing. So, like, that's my only problem with the Saints. Like, their defense is highly suspect. And if the Falcons get on the roll, it's going to be a problem.
Well, I'll just touch on my team real quick. We beat Green Bay 31-17. Didn't have Sony Michel, so I did like that win. That was a good win. No Sony Michel, no Gronk. Tom Brady 22 for 35, 294. He had pretty much a mistake-free game. Aaron Rodgers 24 for 43, 259. I liked our defense on Devontae Adams in that game.
Yeah, I think you guys played pretty good defense in this game. I really think you guys.
Gilmore, if anybody is going to be manned up against a top echelon receiver on that team, it got to be Gilmore. And we're playing a combination of zone on one side and man on the other side, which I like. Trey Flowers, I just hope he doesn't get injured again because he's really the only reason we have any semblance of a pass rush. We did try to go after Bruce Irvin, so I can't really knock us for that.
Hey, we got Bruce Irvin.
Yeah, he turned down money to go home, which is understandable.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall a very good win. Defense played well. God, Josh Gordon is really starting to kill it, which I told everybody was going to happen.
I agree with that.
He's looking like the number one receiver on our team right now. I mean, Edelman is going to get his, but Josh Gordon gives you everything from a receiver that can turn.
See, this is the thing I was going to say. With Julian Edelman, is it really necessary for him to get, quote-unquote, get his right now?
No.
With a receiver that you got like that?
No, but because Josh Gordon is getting so much attention, Julian Edelman is still getting his opportunity. The person who's not getting the opportunity is Chris Hogan. And, Hogan will come up big in the playoffs the way Amendola did a couple years ago. It's bound to happen. But right now, I do like how our 2 receivers are playing, even without Gronk. Once Gronk comes back, Edelman's touches will go down a little bit. But overall, Josh Gordon is looking exactly like I thought he would look in a Patriots uniform. He's playing great. He's the big target that we all wanted. He contests for jump balls and comes down with them more times than not. Physical off the line, just everything you would want. The Patriots are looking pretty good right now. I still don't like our defense. Come playoff time, but right now, I think we look all right. I mean, we're playing Tennessee this week. I think Malcolm Butler's going to get torn a new one.
Oh, God. I don't want to talk about it. I think overall, all 3 of our teams are doing okay. I think, DJ, your team just need a little bit more touching up, but I don't see there's any reason to panic because I know about the injuries.
This is what just happened. Not just happened, but happened earlier. We placed Sean Laval, Paul Richardson Jr., and Brandon Scherf on injured reserve
I know. But
So
I think
that offensive line is beat up, and we just signed like 3 new guys.
I still think y'all are in pretty good position to get the division.
I think in the division they're in a decent spot.
Right.
Y'all just need to hope and pray that the Cowboys don't come to their senses and fire Jason Garrett's bum ass, because whoever comes in and coaches that team is gonna have them contending. There's way too much talent.
I'm telling that's why people rag on Dak, and I get it. Dak Prescott is not the best quarterback, but with the situation and the way that team is set up, it is easy pickings for the right coach. Easy.
I mean, is it Dak's fault that they ran the ball 6 times in the second half? No.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I've already laid out what Dallas has to do. They have to switch from the offense being ran through Dak and run it through Elliott.
Yeah. I mean,
and now they got they got Amari Cooper.
Yeah.
He scored. I mean, Jerry Jones, he just needs to come to his sense. I know he likes his yes men at coach, but good God.
You gotta put your team in a position.
Man, I mean, Jason Garrett. I've never seen somebody less qualified have a head coaching job this long. I'm sorry.
Well, Cowboys fans are gonna have to start doing what Redskins fans have already started, and that's not going to the game.
Oh well, hold up.
Oh boy. What?
You said less qualified. What about between him and Marvin Lewis?
Marvin Lewis was a great defensive coordinator. Jason Garrett is supposed to be an offensive coach, right?
Yeah. Well, that is true, because regardless of what you say about Marvin Lewis, he's done a good job with the personnel he had. He just can't win playoff games.
Marvin Lewis's thing is like his time to get fired comes around and passes like so quick. Like he'll be like, his team will be doing so horribly. You're just like, God damn, they need to fire this dude. And then next year they'll come and make the playoffs. Jason Garrett has been consistently mediocre since he took over the interim job, and player after player after player has said this when they left, and he is still the coach. Tony Romo was a scapegoat, and I never thought I'd see the day that happened with Jerry Jones.
And even Troy Aikman has chimed in. He was like, they need to
Jason
start
Witten
from all the way.
Yeah, Jason Witten said something too.
Jason Witten said it on the telecast. This is what used to annoy me when I played there, aka last year.
Like he's saying it like it's 5 years ago or something.
This is what used to annoy me, is when we used to run stupid plays like this. And everybody was wondering, like, well, damn, why is he so hard? Because they can see that he's not the coach for that franchise. And when you have so much talent for once, and your defense is actually decent for once, you want to capitalize on that. So they need to fire him. They need to fire him now. People talking about Luke Walton getting fired. Luke could get another 10 years. As long as Jason Garrett gets fired right now. Oh my God, it's horrible, man. It's horrible.
I don't know what else to add to it, man. I mean, that could be another 2-hour podcast talking about damn Jason Garrett. Oh my God. It's one thing if the team wasn't that good talent wise, but it's so much talent that team can easily, with the right coach, that team can easily win 10 games consistently.
Yo, I'm sitting there watching the. Hey, Bills, remember that GIF I sent you about you missing and shooting and missing on jokes?
Yeah.
Well, I was just watching the Penguins and Capitals playing, and they had 3 wide open net opportunities, missed all of them high.
Oh,
who did they play?
It's Penguins and Caps.
Let's close this out. We're past the hour mark. I don't have anything else. Anything else y'all want to add?
Nah, I just hope that Alabama for once actually makes it to the national championship game. And
man, they're gonna smoke my Georgia. Well, I ain't gonna say my Georgia Bulldogs. They're gonna smoke Georgia.
I like Bama this year, and it's all because of Tua. So
yeah, they're gonna smoke Georgia. Georgia's a good team. I think they can hang with them offensively, but no, I'll take that back. They're gonna smoke Georgia.
I have no college football team.
Michigan will be the only team that can put up a fight defense.
Yeah, I can agree with that. But the SEC championship, Georgia and Alabama, the scene of the crime from last year, It's gonna be a massacre this time. It's not even gonna be that close.
You forget about Clemson. I don't care if they're blowing all these shitty schools out by 70 or whatever. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
I'm not even worrying about Clemson.
Notre Dame, same thing. I like Notre Dame. Everybody knows I cheer for Notre Dame whenever I watch them, but no.
But I will say, man, I like what Harbaugh has done to Michigan. He finally got it to where they're actually very respectable.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, it took a little longer than we thought it to be, but he did it. I agree.
I for Ohio State too because they're on the bubble as well.
Frauds.
Well, obviously, but I mean, they might still make it.
Look, Nick Bosa didn't want to come back for a reason. Just put it out there like that. Anyway,
all right, I got one thing to say.
Oh, go ahead.
Y'all see Trump step out from side of that podium like he was gonna throw hands?
Man, he wasn't gonna do nothing, man.
That's what I was thinking.
He ain't gonna do nothing.
When I seen that happen, I was just like, really? You want to throw hands? If I was that reporter, I'd be like, oh, you want to do something?
Man, Trump got his ass waxed. I
would have said one sentence. Promise me I won't get arrested.
All right, that's it. It's on.
Like, say words, son. Say word.
Please, man.
Step your ass back behind that podium, and he did exactly that. I was like, Trump don't want that smoke.
He's gonna see that same doctor that said that he's in great shape for his age. He's gonna go see the same one to do the surgery for his whole ass.
Anyway, this is the first frame.
I just thought that was hilarious because it was just like that's like the universal signal for you want to do something about this.
You ain't about to do a damn thing.
Right.
This is the First and Framerates podcast. This was episode 42. I am VF Baller. Got Bills. Got DJ. We just closed out another episode. Once again, you can find us on SoundCloud. You can find us on iTunes. You can find those links in the description of the YouTube video, which will be up at probably a day after that. You will find this on SoundCloud or iTunes. If you want to get it on SoundCloud or iTunes, just find me on Twitter. That's VF Baller. You can also find Bills on Twitter, which is Bills Fourth, and you can find DJ, which is DJ81. And that's pretty much what I have to say as far as the podcast. I'm going to let my other two co-hosts say their last piece, and we're going to close it. Bills, what you got?
Feedback. Give us feedback. It's very important.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'm getting tired of seeing no comments, but all these likes and just nothing. We want to hear from you guys. Like, I know that we could, like, I know it's been thrown out there to possibly do it live, maybe once in a blue moon, just to get y'all in here, just to interact. I think that would be, but still, you guys that are listening, just like primarily on YouTube, just like not just say hi, just chime in. We want you guys to chime in.
Yeah, we get a lot of support of people liking the podcast, and the numbers on SoundCloud are phenomenal. iTunes the same way. YouTube not so much, but even they come to YouTube, people give us a lot of likes with no comments, and I understand it. You guys like what we do, but it's more of listening than actually giving feedback. And definitely what DJ said, we're definitely going to look into putting this thing out live. I have a couple of avenues to go through on that way as well, so that is in the works, probably a lot sooner than we think. I'll talk to you guys about that offline. But like I said, other than that, man, I don't have anything else. You know the places to find us: the Twitter, SoundCloud, YouTube, iTunes. You can find us on there, and we will definitely be back with more content next week. You guys take it easy. Peace.
Peace.